Okay, we are now moving on to 1.3. This is Math 9 1.3. So we need to know that any imperfect root is irrational. For example, if we type in the square root of 10 into your calculator, we will get 3.162277766. And the decimal just keeps on going. So we get a non-repeating and non-terminating decimal, which is why this number is irrational. There is no way for us to write this as a fraction. And of course, any perfect square root will be rational. For example, if we have the square root of 9, it will just be 3. And we can say 3 is 3/1, so we can express it as a fraction. Okay, so 1/8. The square root of 121 is 11. It is a perfect square, so it will be rational. Remember, we use Q for rational and Q bar for irrational. So if your teacher doesn't like this symbol, then you will just have to write out rational and irrational. The square of 60 is going to be irrational because 60 is not a perfect square. The square of 729 is 27, I believe, so it is rational. We can check. Square root of 729 is 27. 750 is going to be irrational. It is not a perfect square. If I want to verify, I just need to do a vertical division. I can divide this by 2 to get 375. I can divide this by 5 to get 75. Divide this by 5 to get 15. Divide this by 5 to get 3. So we can say that the square root of 750 is the square root of, because there is the 2, which is not you need at least a pair in order for you to simplify, right? So the 5 square you can simplify, but the rest you can't really simplify. That's why it's irrational. And if you type in the calculator, you will see that it is indeed irrational. 81/5. So the numerator is a perfect square, but the denominator is not. So we get 9 over the square of 5. This is irrational. So if one of the one of the numerator or denominator is not rational, then the entire thing will not be rational. We can simplify this, divide both of them by 2, and now they are both perfect square, right? The square of 4 is 2, the square of 9 is 3. So it's rational. G, the square root of 1.6, because we cannot have 1 decimal places, so already you should know that this is irrational. You can also say this is square root of 16/10. 16 is a perfect square, but not 10. That's why it's irrational. So we can simplify this, divide both of them by, maybe divide both of them by 4. I get 6 and 9. And then I can divide both of them by 2 or 3. I get 2/3. So now we should be able to see that both 2 and 3 are not perfect square. So it's irrational. I, again, only 1 decimal places. You cannot have 1 decimal places. So it's irrational. But for 0.09, the square of 9 is 3. And there are 2 decimal places, so we have the amount of decimal points. We get 1 decimal places, so this is rational. Okay, that's it for question 1. I'll see you in question 2.